Hi everyone, I'm Angela De Palma from Vision Accountable and welcome to today's Masterclass, the 7 Steps to Successful Niching and Message to Market Match Mastery. And I'm very honoured to have Birgitta, Sharon and Gia with me today, who are all very seasoned professionals in their own right and impact makers, change makers. So this Masterclass today is going to cover what is a niche, why it's important, the 7-step formula to master your message to market match. It'll be dotted with a series of case studies from my 2+ decade career in business, and I'll also cover myths about niching. So is this you? So are you a visionary entrepreneur, consultant, solopreneur, spinning your wheels, unsure of which direction to take your business, confused about who your solution serves because there are too many options, lacking clarity around your message and personal brand, struggling with inconsistent lead generation and sales because your message isn't landing, pivoting or starting a new business, new to consulting or self-employment, or looking to revisit messaging and niching fundamentals. So who am I? So I'm Angela. I'm a successful business owner. I've been in business for over 2 decades. I've pivoted my subject matter expertise many times. I consider myself an entrepreneur, a strategist, consultant, business coach, speaker, and I'm a self-published poet. And my subject matter expertise, which I'm so passionate about, is personal branding because it's a fast-track strategy, and my values are leverage, freedom, connection, transformation, harmony, integrity, fun, and collaboration. So my mission is to continue to be recognized as a sought-after personal brand strategist and coach who sees things in clients and their business they could not see, producing transformational shifts in personal identity, reinvention, empowerment, business strategy, and business results. So guess where I got that from, ladies, just to deviate for 1 second. So that was what someone wrote about me in a testimonial. So that's why part of your personal branding is your case studies and your testimonials. We learn so much about what people think of us through that and how they perceive our value and our work. So my vision is every visionary entrepreneur equipped to achieve your positive impact, fulfilled and financially thriving. And why am I passionate about that? Because that's the ripple effect. So if I can help you achieve your goals, then together we're going to really make a big impact. So I operate under visionaccountable.com.au. I'm the founder of She Simply Impacts. We offer transformational, holistic online group coaching for women, and our model is Heal, Emerge, Thrive, Impact. And I'm a self-published poet. So enough about me. I'll just quickly run through this. So I do lots of speaking on personal branding, business and mindset. And of course, this is my passion and preference, is doing masterclasses. And I've got loads of testimonials online in Facebook and also LinkedIn. So what is a niche? Why it is important? The 7-step formula to master your message to market match. A series of case studies from my career in business and myths about niching. So what is a niche? So a definition of a niche is a segment of a larger market that can be defined by its own characteristics, unique needs, preferences, or identity that makes it different from the market at large. So niching has become sort of, I guess, mainstream these days because the markets that we work in are so competitive. So examples of larger markets. So these are some larger markets like real estate, automotive, entertainment and media, fashion and beauty, finance, education, health and wellness, business and corporate. So all of us here are in the business and corporate market as well, and we're in education also. So there's many, many larger markets. But essentially there's 2 types of niches. There's the horizontal niche and there's the vertical niches, and I'm going to delve into both of these. So the horizontal niche focuses on providing the same product or service across different industries, so offering a broad service or product to a wide range of clients. So for example, social media management, web design, accounting software. So every market and business needs these services. So A personal branding, for example, is a horizontal niche. And, I have verticals, which I'll share more about. So vertical niches are focused on a specific industry or audience, offering tailored solutions to meet the unique needs of that market. And vertical niches include sub-verticals as well. If you have any questions, just please ask as we go along. So a vertical niche example, so the larger market could be health and wellness. The vertical niche could be a fitness coach, but other vertical niches could be a clinical nutritionist, for example. It could be, other people that work in wellness. A sub-vertical niche is fitness coaching for women over 40. So if we delve into the fitness coach for women over 40, that person will focus on helping women over 40 often regain strength, manage menopause, maintain a healthy lifestyle. And their offerings may include specific workout routines, nutritional advice, and lifestyle tips. So if you're a woman over 40 looking for a fitness coach, who would you choose? A general fitness coach or a fitness coach for women over 40? So it's kind of a no-brainer. So sub-vertical niches matter because they provide deeper specialization. So it positions you as an expert and it adds credibility and trustworthiness because the sub-vertical, knows that you understand their true sort of challenges and obstacles. There is less competition, so there's more visibility and authority within that sub-niche. There's better customer alignment, so services and messaging are highly tailored, addresses unique needs, desires, and pain points, and increases your chances of conversion. It's very focused marketing, so efforts can be more precise and cost-effective, targeting a smaller but more engaged and relevant audience. And the thing is, you can't be everything to everyone. So in our professional development, like as professionals, we're always, learning and keeping up with the latest things. If we're everything to everyone, how would we have time to do that? So the conversions are higher. So the more targeted, the easier to convert, and clients do feel understood, and it's easier to become the go-to expert and builds trust and credibility faster. So it's that authority and trust. So the relationship between niching and messaging. So niching defines your audience, but messaging speaks to them. Niching helps refine your messaging. Messaging differentiates you within your niche. So say, for example, there were two coaches that were also working in the women over 40 that market that I spoke about before. So messaging, so although those two people might be in the same sub-vertical, how they position their messaging, the types of stories they tell, the sort of person that they are, how they look, how they sound, that all impacts whether someone will pick them or not. So it's kind of a no-brainer. People do business with people they know, like, and trust. So it's about becoming known. So the relationship between niching and messaging, number 4, is consistency between niching and messaging builds trust. Hi, Kareen. Lovely to see you here. Niching makes messaging more effective, so there's less guesswork, and niching dictates the tone and style of the messaging. So it's sort of, they're intertwined, but they're slightly different. So the relationship between niching, messaging, and branding. So niching defines your focus. So it's a targeted segment of the market, addresses pain points and desires, reduces competition, and positions you as an expert in a specialized area. Messaging speaks to your audience. So you want to be clear. So articulate the value you provide, targeted, address the specific challenges and desires of your niche, and consistent. Align your brand's identity and values. And I'll speak more about that. So branding creates an identity. So that's the visual identity, the colors, logo, design elements. Your brand personality is the tone, style, and values that reflect who you are. And the emotional appeal is how your audience feels when they interact with your brand, because ultimately your brand does not live inside of your mind, it lives in the heart and mind of your audience. So is anyone on this call still exploring their niche, or is everyone pretty much know who their niche is? Gia's sort of, Gia, are you still exploring?
I am. Yep.
Yeah, good. It's
Thanks.
a great place to be. So these are some questions to explore your niche. So what problem do you solve better than anyone else? So who benefits the most from your solution? Is your niche more horizontal or vertical, and why? How can you further narrow down your focus to serve your audience better? And then what would you be known for if you became an expert in your niche? Who is your most profitable client right now, and what are their specific challenges? So this is really a good one. Your most profitable client, because I've worked with clients that are kind of seasoned entrepreneurs, and they've worked with so many different sort of industries and things, and they're still sort of grappling with this. And I asked one in particular, who's your most profitable client? And he could tell me who that was. And it was like, well, that's a clue. That's a clue, because you've got this amazing case study and this person's really happy with your services. So that kind of all stacks up. So if you could only serve one type of client, who would that be? So this is a case study from my business. So in 2017, I was cold calling lawyers, and my goal was to secure a group of regular ongoing clients, cold emailing, sorry, not cold calling. So I rebranded from go-to-outsource.com.au to auslegalsecretary.com.au, and using the same cold email, I immediately picked up a prospect within a couple of hours of sending the email, and he turned out to be a client that I worked with for 2 years. So he would have had me for longer, but that was all I could commit to. So that rebranding, and this is the cold email I sent, just in case any of you are interested in doing cold emails. It does work if it's very targeted and you've got the name of the person. So, dear, I am reaching out to let you know that our company offers outsourced secretarial admin and low-level marketing services to lawyers and legal firms in Australia. We have flexible options starting from 10 hours per month and can perform a range of tasks. If you would like to know more, please get in touch by replying to this email or calling me. I myself am based in Brisbane, and I look forward to being of assistance. So that simple email landed me a client that I worked with for 2 years. So my brand, Go to Outsource, was a horizontal niche, and then I turned it into a vertical niche with targeting the legal niche. So this stuff's really powerful, and it does work. So moving on to the 7 steps to message to market match mastery. So you might be down here. So who is my niche? Don't know which niche to focus on. Or even if you do know which niche to focus on, perhaps you want to expand your offering. So you can look at this through the lens of what other niches might be there for me. My messaging is not hitting the mark. So your message might be hitting the mark in that one niche, but you know that if you want to expand, you've got to refine it. So you need to think in terms of what problem are you solving? And then the clarity. So then you've got to clarify, align, resonate, share, and connect. And that's the message to market match mastery, those 5 things really. So just to have a look at this framework, 7 steps. So define your goals, clarify your values, vision, and mission. So that's the first step. Identify your ideal audience, obviously. Part number 3, A, is define what is the problem you're solving. And B, so this is the thing that a lot of people miss. Does this align with your strengths, passion, and preferences? So this part B is really, really important. Part number 4 is identify the market demand. So you might, have something in mind, but it might not be viable. There might not be enough of that type of person or type of problem that you're solving. So identify the market demand. Number 5 is the unique value proposition. So how to, stand out from your competitors and how to sort of articulate that. Number 6 is craft the messaging around the pain points and desire, align your offer with their needs. And number 7 is test, measure, and refine. So recently I watched a I watched a podcast on AI and, the impact on AI for consultants. And what it said, which I really resonated with, was that although, traditionally people came to consultants for strategy, but these days AI can really create strategy and it does it really well. But the thing that AI can't do is it can't do the test, measuring, and refining. It can't go into the marketplace and talk to our customers. It can't go face to face. It can't do the pitch for us. And then it can't get the feedback unless, we feed it into it. So that's the bit that, we will not become obsolete is that is that face to face bit that we need to get our audience to tell us, are we hitting the mark or not? So step number one, defining our goals. So I always like to write the goals or define them as short, mid, and long term goals. So recently I worked with a client and she was a healer and she was, doing all this one-on-one work and she was getting a lot of clients and, very well known and getting repeat business, but she was personally getting burnt out. And so she had this vision for where she wanted to take her business, and it was around her passion and love for portrait art. So she'd been to art school and she'd actually studied art and she was really good at it, but she hadn't ever really positioned her art into her brand. And so her short term goal was to keep making the money doing this one on one work. But then her mid-term and longer term goals were ultimately to phase out the one on one work and then sell her portraits as well as get commissioned artwork. So she was sort of in this transition. So that's kind of how it's relevant. Short, mid, and long term, that's that immediate priority. But then where are we going and how are we going to step ourselves to that place? So if you haven't mapped out your goals yet, or this workbook is really evergreen, it's not attached to a month of the year, but I do have a workbook which you're welcome to download, and it's a really effective program for mapping out your goals, working out what worked over the last 12 months, what didn't work, what needs refining, what are your key takeaways, where do you see yourself? So we're still in step one, and now we're in clarify. So we have to really clarify our values, vision, and our core mission. This is really important, not just for our audience, but it's really important for ourselves. We have to be able to clarify it and also articulate it. So the personal side of personal branding is precisely this. It's your vision, your purpose, your legacy, your values, your passion, and your mission. So this is the foundational things of personal branding which are relevant for you. And also, once you've really crafted where you're going with your niching and your messaging, relevant for your audience as well, because we want that values alignment when we're actually out in the marketplace attracting the right clients. So why does it matter? Why does personal branding matter? Why do these things matter? The vision and the mission and the values, because they are the driving force between everything we do. So if we lose that, then we don't have a north, we don't have a north anymore, a north star. And it also matters because it provides purpose and direction, like I said before, both for us and for our audience. So we all want to know that we're all heading in the same direction and we're all on the same page. But then these things come into it, our strengths and preferences. And preferences are really, really powerful because if we don't really work to our preferences, when we hit roadblocks and obstacles, we also lose momentum and we can get a bit disillusioned. So some more powerful questions to answer. And what we need to do in our messaging is to ensure that the answers to these are the foundation of our messaging. So we need to articulate our why very, very clearly. We need to be able to articulate what impact do we want to make? How do we want to change the lives of our audience or community? So we need to be able to pitch this and speak it and live and breathe it and think it. And then purpose and impact. What is the ultimate change I want to create in the world? What are the long-term effects I want my business to have on my customers, community, and industry? And what is the legacy I want to leave behind? Then, for personal motivation and vision, what drives me to pursue this business every day? What parts of my business bring me the most fulfillment and energy? Who am I passionate about, and what are my skills and preferences? So we really want to know the answers to all of this. And this is not a waste of time. Like, if you actually do this foundation work, this is really going to inform a lot of choices and decisions that you make moving forward. So this is actually really time well worth spent. And because we evolve and, things change, it's good to sort of revisit this, every year at least. So, what are my strengths, and what would success look like for me personally and professionally? So, then when it comes to your audience, who specifically benefits the most from what I offer? What problem am I uniquely positioned to solve for my ideal clients? How do I want my audience to feel after they interact with my business? Now, if you don't know any of this yet because you haven't really started working with clients yet, then don't worry, because it will all unfold. But working with clients obviously is your priority. Then values and principles. Which core values guide my business decisions? How do my personal values align with the way I want to run or currently run my business? And what ethical principles do I refuse to compromise on? So I really love this question. What ethical principles do I refuse to compromise on? It's a really powerful question for you to really delve deeply into yourself. Innovation and growth. So, what unique perspective or innovation do I bring to my industry? And how do I want to evolve or expand my impact in the future? Now, if any of those questions jumped out at you, would anyone like to share what came to mind, or what question really stands out, or what's the most powerful thing that you what's the most powerful question, or if there's something that you haven't answered yet, or some experience that that because you've worked on that, what you're doing in the marketplace. I mean, Sharon is she's a very seasoned entrepreneur.
There she is. Calling me out, putting me on the spot. Yeah, look, to be honest, I'm still working through a lot of this, and I've been in business for 4 years. So, um, yeah, I think this is all very, very important. The thing that stands out for me constantly is because I talk a lot about psychological safety. My own personal journey and being in an environment where I felt really unsafe is what absolutely drives me. And I think when I talk to organizations, that passion really comes through. Um, it can do two things. It can inspire them or it can scare them, I think. But one of the things I decided early on was that I didn't want to just be a tick box kind of enterprise that can make people feel like they're doing the right thing, but not necessarily actually support their people. So that would be like a deal breaker for me if people are like, oh, we just want to do the basics and not really go into, how we can really genuinely help people.
Yeah, and see then, so that goes, what ethical principles do I refuse to compromise on, you see? So
Mm,
that's your principle. So you just don't want a company that wants to tick the box. You want to work with these other change makers within organizations that actually have the same drive and passion for their people. And that's your business is called people mode. So I know. And so that's really, really powerful,
yeah, yeah, it
and I
is.
guess if
It
you
is.
create messaging around that, and a lot of messaging like blog posts and videos
Mm,
around this, then that'll really help attract the people. And it's good. If you don't attract anyone, that's great, because you don't care, because that's
mm,
your line in the sand. So
mm.
that hopefully that really makes you feel. Have you created much messaging around that?
This my greatest hatred in life is social media, and I know I have to overcome it. But I'm putting together a strategy and a plan for this year, but it has been my downfall in the last couple of years because I haven't done what I should be doing. I just find it so fake and inauthentic, because I know what's happening behind a lot of those stories. And saying that you work in a great organization where everyone is treated with dignity and respect when actually you've just been complaining to me the opposite. But I have to put all of that aside and start being consistent in my messaging and just putting it out there.
Yeah,
So that is my strategy and my goal for this year because
right.
I've built a business without doing too much of that, but now I'm at a point where my personal brand and me talking about this stuff is what's going to get me in front
Yes,
of more people.
definitely.
And that's my goal.
Absolutely. That's so
Yeah.
good. And I'm behind you all the way, Sharon. You know, I love
Yeah, I
what you
do.
do. I'm
Thank
really
you.
passionate about what you do. Would anyone
Thank
else
you.
like to share or will I move on? Nusha,
Everyone, the question about what drives me to pursue this business every day is a good framework. Because that's like, if you have low days and, we're going to have the natural ebb and flow, but that's what more or less gets you up in the morning, and kind of being clear about what that is. I find that's very powerful.
definitely. Absolutely. That's so true. Wonderful. Well, that's great. So let me move on. So I'm moving on to business model. So which business model are you in? So this is actually really helpful, especially if you're starting out, just to know what business model you're in and the potential of that business model. So I've just listed out some. So there's a subscription-based model, a social enterprise model, a freemium model, a platform or marketplace model, affiliate or referral model, consulting or coaching model, which Begita, Sharon, myself, and probably Gia will fit into this crowdsourcing or crowdfunding model. So there's many models and licensing or franchise model. So that might be relevant to us coaches and consultants when we're scaling, productized or service model, membership community model, e-commerce with a purpose model, direct to consumer and non-profit hybrid model. So there's so many models. And so when we're thinking about our business and what's possible, what is the potential, then these models can sort of maybe give us some ideas. So moving on to step number 2, identifying your ideal client. So, factors which will influence your ideal client selection include your skills, your strengths, your passion, your preferences, viable, tangible solution you're selling. So, we have to make sure that what we're doing is viable, and we have to ideally do a forecast every year and update the forecast so then that we know what is the potential, how much money do I want to make, and then work backwards. Are my products and services priced properly so that I can actually achieve that? How much, many hours or months do I want to work in the year and things like that? Then how can you differentiate yourself? So I know for myself that just exactly what Sharon said about differentiating herself, our stories are the thing that are going to differentiate us. How we tell the story, how we link the story to our target audience. Is there a high profit potential? So I said that before. Are you solving a practical need? Is there a strong market demand? So these things influence our ideal client selection. And then what's our preference, vertical or horizontal? So when we are identifying our ideal client, think about who we're best equipped to serve. This person should benefit most from our expertise and services. So the coaching question is, who are your favorite clients to work with and why, and what do they have in common? So does anyone want to have a go at that, or I'll just keep moving on? Sharon.
Um, I don't want to be the person that does a lot of talking, but this is something that I haven't actually really decided on this, but it's becoming more and more evident to me that the organizations that I really love working with are those that work to help others. So when I'm helping people who are helping others, they're often the people that they give their all, and no one's sort of there to ask them at the end of the day, are you okay? So
Yeah.
Red Cross is a big one for me. I'm working with them at the moment, and the work is just so easy because I am supporting those people who are out there every day helping others. On the flip side, the bad side of that is often they are not for profits and often they have very limited budgets. So I might have to find a nice balance of both, but they're the people that really drive me and make me really passionate about continue, to build on my passion of helping others.
Yeah, and that's so much the ripple effect. And because I used to work for Carers Queensland, Sharon, I used to work for the Australian Institute of Professional Counsellors, and I
Yeah.
loved that about that as well because I wasn't, it was that real ripple effect, and that really drives me too. So, anyone else? Would anyone else like to have a go? Gia?
Yeah, I was going to say that out of all of the different clients I've worked with in roles that I've had as an employee, the not-for-profit sector has been the one that I've really got the most satisfaction from working with. And that's where I'm leaning as well.
Yeah.
Mindful, some of them don't have huge budgets, but then might have some strategies that can help them access grant funds or just help them boost that budget anyway.
Yeah, wonderful. And I definitely know from having worked that psychological safety is a big, I mean, it's a factor everywhere in all workplaces. Yeah, that's exciting, Gia. That's good. Because obviously that's going to help a hell of a lot, and yeah, it's going to help a hell of a lot. And in my messaging work with clients, we have a few sub verticals. So we create messaging for all of them so that you when so you've got a few options, so but you don't want to spread yourself too thin, like two or three at the most is probably the main one. But yeah, so that's definitely something. So because the truth is the broader you go the harder it is. So when I was in that real horizontal niche, it was really hard. No one, it was like speaking into the void. So for me, verticals are easier for marketing and prospecting. They're more laser focused. But the thing is, never dismiss your passion and love for the target market. And you definitely need this to sustain the momentum. So Nusha, we were speaking recently about your passion for the people relocating, remember? And and it was sort of really powerful when you were talking about that. It's like it really went down to that personal story for you about belonging and moving to um California, and it was really powerful. So just to give you a bit of a case study, so I've put together an example list as if I was doing this. Well, I've done this. This is a real list. At the moment, my focus is visionary entrepreneurs building or scaling a business, corporate leaders new to consulting, and self-employment. So they're my main ones at the moment. But I'll just take you through uh, like what to extract and then how to create that into messaging. So if we were looking at female leaders, professionals, or solopreneurs advancing their career or business, so the case study is in 2020, so at the start of COVID, I had launched my coaching business at the end of 2017, and at the start of COVID, all my coaching clients vanished, obviously, because coaching is not a necessity. It's a luxury. I mean, in my world, it's a necessity. But anyway, so my partner and I pivoted to offer personal brand content solutions, and I picked real estate agents, and I named the brand Personal Brand Content. Now, it's centered around my passion and expertise in personal branding. So I've had this passion for a long time. So it was a low-hanging fruit selection. So I'd been writing content for a real estate agent for a year. So I sort of was doing a bit of implementation work on the side as I was building up my coaching practice. So I could actually showcase. I had a case study. So case studies are so important. So really think about the clients you've worked with and documenting those case studies. So I had a case study. The marketing was very straightforward and targeted because I could easily get hold of the mobile numbers and cold call the agents because agents pick up their phone. So they're really easy to market to. So it seemed like a really great pivot. And so in 2.5 weeks, I created the new business. I created a 75% converting sales presentation, recruited a team, documented and recorded most of the business systems, and I did actually secure some clients very quickly, or quite quickly. But this is what I learned. I learned that a lot of real estates are very unreliable. So I kind of figured out in the end, I didn't really like that target market. It wasn't, I mean, I still work with a lot of real estate, so that's not actually true. I do work with agents, but a lot of them were unreliable. Many said yes and then disappeared. One never paid the invoice. So although I do have a passion for real estate and the industry, and I still work with agents. So I've got one client I've been coaching for over 3 years who's in real estate. I've got another property developer that's come to work with me on his messaging and branding. But the results within the time frame, they were reasonable enough to keep going. But I gave priority to the job at the Australian Institute of Professional Counsellors because my preference and passion was to really transition my career into coaching and to really advance my skills as an effective coach. And I'd been doing implementation for years and years, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So that was easy to make a decision, what I really wanted. But this is interesting. So when I came up with the name, I decided, although I knew I wanted to focus on real estate agents, I didn't put that in the name just in case down the track we wanted to do personal brand content for other verticals. And so with naming your business, so if you're crystal clear about the vertical, like I was with Oz Legal Secretary, it's a good idea to put the name of the vertical in your business name, or it's one option. For example, coaching for ambitious women, if that was just my niche. And so, because it makes it easier for your niche to identify themselves. If you have any questions, just interrupt me. So now moving on to step number 3 is understanding the problems or pain points, and do these align with your strengths, passion, and preferences. So there's mainly 3 types of markets when we're solving problems. There's either the problem in the wealth, we're either solving the problem of wealth, health, or relationship. And the thing is, what we're also selling is we're selling emotions. We're selling solutions, but really the solution is linked up to an emotion. So these feelings, emotions, and states. So we're either selling love or transformation. That's what I sell. Confidence, I sell that. Security and safety. So Gia, you probably sell tied in with figures, security and safety. Sharon, security and safety with psychological safety. Credibility, we're either selling influence or achievement or vitality or happiness, joy, satisfaction, fulfillment. So we have to understand. So when we're creating marketing and messaging, we really want to be clear, what state or emotion are we selling? And that's really important because in the end, that's what the people are buying. They're buying this emotion. So if we go back to my list of these three, so it was the growth-minded spiritual male millennials building or scaling a business, visionary entrepreneurs building or scaling a business, female leaders, professionals or solopreneurs advancing their careers. Now, to be honest, all of those people, they have something in common. So it could be a horizontal niche. I just help people build and scale. So I could say that. But this is very, very specific. So I went down these verticals. So with female leaders, professionals, or solopreneurs, so their problems are things like balancing work and personal life, visibility and personal branding, overwhelm from wearing multiple hats, lack of mentorship and support networks, imposter syndrome and self-doubt. So that's huge. Funding and financial challenges, scaling sustainably. So their fears are things like fear of failure, losing balance, and burnout. So burnout's a really big issue for high achievers. It's really huge. Judgment and criticism. So we've got to get over that when we're, building our personal brand and launching it, and visibility and exposure. Letting others down is fears. Not reaching their full potential and taking risks is some fears. Desire. So what do we desire? I mean, I fall into this as well. So desire meaningful impact, financial independence and stability. So I can say tick, tick, personal and professional growth. Absolutely. Build authentic connections and community. totally. Flexibility and balance, yes. Leave a legacy, yes. Confidence and empowerment, yes. Financial resources to scale. So that's me. Can you ladies relate to this? These desires? Do we all desire this? We do. We all desire this. Now, with this other group, growth-minded spiritual male millennials building or scaling a business. So these people, these young men, and I've worked with a lot of young men, like they seem to gravitate to me. They struggle to balance profit and purpose, uncertainty in defining their unique brand. So they're kind of at that phase where there's still that self-discovery piece, that they don't quite understand who they are, or they haven't quite connected the dots. Often they lack a supportive network because males are often very isolated and closed, difficulty integrating spirituality into business, managing stress and overwhelm, reluctance to self-promote, and challenge with delegation and control. And their fears are things like losing authenticity, financial stability, not fulfilling their potential, being judged for their beliefs, losing balance and peace, failing those they want to serve, and selling out. Selling out's a big one with this group. So that's them. And then their desires, alignment between business and values, meaningful impact, authentic connections and community, financial freedom, inner growth and self-mastery, to be seen and understood, innovate and inspire, and maintain a healthy work-life balance. Now, when I speak to this type, let's say I'm working with someone, then when I speak to them and what they tell me really informs what I know about them. But when we have an intuition that this is a group I want to pursue, but we haven't worked with many of them yet, then we still have to take a guess. And then it comes back to the final step, which is test, measure, and refine. We've got to get in front of these people so we can test our assumptions. So the visionary entrepreneurs, but as you can see, there's an overlap. So they're all very similar, but there's these kind of nuances. And why I'm bringing this into the messaging masterclass is because these nuances are the thing that we have to tap into in our messaging. We've got to go deeper into the nuance. So the visionary entrepreneur, lack of clarity in branding and messaging, scaling operations efficiently, inconsistent revenue and cash flow, overwhelm from wearing multiple hats, struggling with team building and leadership, difficulty balancing vision with day-to-day tasks, managing mindset blocks and self-doubt. So their fear is losing authenticity and control, failure, being judged or criticized, so similar to the ladies, financial instability, delegating and losing quality, burnout, success and change. So there's definitely all these overlaps. And their desire is to make a meaningful impact, financial freedom and stability, recognition and credibility, build a loyal community, personal growth and learning, freedom and flexibility, and leaving a legacy. So I can guarantee you that if you go through this laborious task, and it seems quite laborious, of defining all of this and documenting it all, it's going to really help. It's going to make a hell of a lot of difference, because then when you go to create messaging, when you go to create content, you go back to this list. And this is what gives you the ideas of what you're creating. Because sometimes you're writing content about the problem, and then sometimes you're writing content about the solution. But it's the same thing that you're saying, but you're just phrasing it differently. But then we have to go back to your strengths, passion, and preferences, because just because you are good at something does not mean you should do it. So who's had this experience before of being good at something but then realizing that actually it doesn't make me happy? Like, I'm good at this, but it's just not what I want. Yeah, Gia's nodding. So we've got to go back to, our strengths. And here's a list. I'm not going to read them out. Our passion. So what gets you fired up? Why do you care about this? What are you going to do about it? And what are your top 5 values? And then your preferences. Who do you love to work with? Why? See, this why piece. Why? Why do you love to work with them? Because there's a whole content piece around why you've chosen these people. Why you guys have chosen the not-for-profits. And it's really clear, because of the ripple effect. Because your impact, you can magnify your impact. And what you found by working with the not-for-profits is that the people that work in there are really caring, impact-driven, passionate people, that they're not just there for the money, they're there for the mission. And that's inspirational. And so, and I'm sure that if you really delve into the vision and mission, like if you want to pursue an organization, for example, let's say there's another not-for-profit apart from the Red Cross, Sharon, if you tap into all their vision and mission and their values and you create some content specifically for that organization, really align yourself with those. It's a lot like career coaching, when the people are creating their resume. I mean, messaging is no different. It's all the same. It's a transferable thing. So what type of if you're a coach, business lights you up, or what type of business lights you up? Recently, I worked with a client and I asked her what's her real goal? What would she absolutely love to achieve? She did web design, she did security of the WordPress, so she did all that like maintaining it and making sure that it's secure and all the plugins. She said that ultimately what she wants to do is just have lots and lots of clients where she takes care of their website. She's passionate about that, which is quite unique. And because she used to be a software developer. And so we kind of revamped her strategy and really positioned that so that she would stand out in that side of the business because that's what she was really passionate about. But in her short and medium goals, she still has to design websites. She's still got to do SEO, but ultimately one day that's the business she wants. So she's clear about that. So what are your non-negotiables in your business? And we spoke about Sharon's before. Does anyone else have any non-negotiables that jump to their mind that they're happy to share? Non-negotiables. These are really, really important because if we go against our non-negotiables, we're going to be really unhappy. Yes, Nusha?
I actually experienced this recently, having, choosing, like, attracting clients who are kind of taking, they really like take away your energy, or they're draining, they're very draining, they require a lot. They're actually they're meant to kind of, they're out for you, if you will, like they sure they need your help, but they're gonna take advantage of every ounce or inch that you give them. So that's, and there's, I mean, in my world, there's a lot of those. So being even more clear about who I'm helping and not attracting those is really, really important, because all of a sudden that's what the next five clients will be like, right? So that's very important.
Yeah, and have you figured out how to attract them? So with your good clients, the ones that don't do that, have you done a bit of an assessment on who they are so that you could create some messaging around those people to them, what they're
Yeah. So one of the things I realized is, like, we talked about referrals. I actually got some of these leads through referrals, and it was kind of seamless because it was a referral. So attracting more referrals has been helpful. And then, you know, really thinking, I have a very great case study of exactly who I want to work with, but it's
yes,
like, where do I find these folks? Because it's, I'm relocation specialist, so how does that kind of work? But the referral part is great, because my other business that I created, it's 100% referral. You had to know someone to kind of get in with me. So um that, I feel like that helps, like, relate. And I also love building relationships with other agents. Like,
yes,
that's, I've
yes,
realized. So I've been
yes,
spending a lot more time networking and meeting other agents. I joined
yes.
an organization that has national chapters. So that's kind of like, okay, no, so what worked about this is the referral.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
there's, that's also kind of a business model as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Um,
And what I was going to
yeah.
say about referral, so if because obviously referral partners is a big part of my strategy. So then it's about educating the referral partner. It's about educating the referral partner so that they're really clear. So because we're leading with values. See, this is why it all comes back to values, our vision and mission. It's very powerful stuff. And then we have to educate the people about who the best fit is, this sort of person. I mean, obviously, you don't want to speak badly of, so we've got to be creative in the way we pitch this, if you know what I mean, so that it comes across really professionally, but we're still vetting, because the vetting goes both ways. We're vetting and they're vetting, but we're vetting, and the more we vet, the better it is. So this is an example from my career. So in 2018, I was launching a supplement on Amazon US, and I ended up picking the niche nootropics. And I selected the niche in a very clinical way through keyword research only. But I did love the research, the creation, the implementation, the manufacturing phase of bringing a product to market. I enjoyed the whole thing. It was amazing. But once it was launched, I lost interest in the ongoing marketing because there wasn't any passion for the niche or true alignment in the first place. So I just loved the creating phase and bringing it to market, but then it was over. And unfortunately, what I realized about myself was that, and also I picked something where the differentiation wasn't compelling. So we were competing against, hundreds of other products in the same thing. The niche wasn't a passion, so I couldn't really sustain interest. So it was a personal misalignment. The strategy I was modeling was already dated, so that was my own mistake there. But my real passion and why I got into that in the first place was I wanted to do spirulina and iron boosting supplements because I had a lived experience in that. But when I ran the numbers, it wasn't viable. And so I let that go above nootropics. But maybe if I'd done it anyway, I mean, I don't know whether it would have worked or not, but I certainly had a lot of lived experience and I could talk from true passion about why I love, and I still take spirulina. I've been taking it forever. It's like I'm like a convert. So I loved the whole thing, but I didn't, that's the implications of what I'm talking about here. So step number 4 is identifying the market demand. So what we have to do if we're still searching, and also this especially applies if with consulting and things like that and coaching and stuff, like obviously ultimately we would love to get all of our business from referral. We would love to be creating content, becoming thought leaders and people seeing our content and coming to us, so obviously that's where we're going. But but wouldn't we also love to get leads online? Wouldn't we love, that's part of the digital footprint. So when we create the content, we need to have the keywords in mind, do a competitor analysis, and then do a SWOT analysis. So the strengths, opportunities, weaknesses, and threats. So this research helps us determine what niche we're going after, where to place or position our products, our positioning or services in relation to our competition once we have worked out our niche. So we want to just do this research can help us when we're creating content as well for the keywords. So what we're really looking to find out is the potential language that our target customers use when they're searching for our solutions. So do they search psychological safety in Google, or do they go to LinkedIn and search psychological safety? Like Sharon, did you get the Red Cross through a referral, or did they find you through your marketing? Just out of curiosity.
Referral. But
Yeah, referral.
I haven't had one client come through as a result of marketing.
Okay.
Networking I have, but
Yeah.
mostly it's referrals.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that means that the referral partner strategies are really our best bet. Like it's a very powerful strategy, referral partners for sure. So, but in any case, would you like to, because you want to scale your business?
Oh, I want business to come at me from every which
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. That's
I
right.
might want to get to the point where I'm just so busy and that
Yes.
I'm just other people will be delivering everything for
Yes.
me and I'll be just doing all of the networking and
Yeah.
managing
Yeah.
the client. Mm.
And then maybe some keynote speaking.
Yeah.
So, absolutely. So, what we have to think of is the potential language. So, what keywords? So, when we're working with clients, let's still ask them, do you look this up on Google? Did you do a search on psychological safety, by the way? Did you have a look online to see what was out there? So, with you, Gia, because you're doing, um, yeah, so ask our clients, because really there's so much intel to be gained from the current clients that we have. Like what would they search on if they were searching on on Google? So And then we want to take those keywords and use them. So keyword research, therefore, is, helps us figure out what people are typing into search engines. It avoids creating solutions to problems that nobody is searching for, helps us work out if the niche is worth pursuing and if our solution stacks up, find out more about our competition and who they are, and will give us clues to differentiate ourselves and how. So how to find keyword ideas. So there's this thing called brainstorm seed keywords. So a seed keyword is the foundation of your research. It encompasses the broad niche, product, services, and problems that we solve, and they give us ideas for additional keywords we might not have thought of. So there's the Google Keyword Planner tool. So that's like one of the free ones, and you need a Gmail account to use it, a Google account, and then when you have one, you hit on those 9 dots and you go to the ads, and then there's this tools and settings where the red arrow is, so you hit that, and then you go to Keyword Planner, so it's sort of a bit buried. And then once you get to the planner, it's discover new keywords or get search volume and forecast. So you go to discover new keywords, and then you can put the keyword in there, such as business coaching. So that's like the seed keyword. And then all these other things come up. So business coaching and mentoring, entrepreneur coach, find a business coach for female entrepreneurs, certified business coach. So then it brings up data, brings up intel. And so then we can also see what our competitors rank for. So we go back to the brainstorm list of keywords, search Google for one of your seed keywords and see who ranks on the front page. So I can go to Google, put business coaching, see who ranks on the front page, and then I can take that name and I can put that name. Then you go back to the planner, you start with a website and you add your competitor's website. So you can see what your competitors' keywords are as well, which helps. It gives us ideas. And then what we want to find out is, are there many keywords that our competitors are not targeting? Because keywords can be very competitive, or they are very competitive. And so the keyword research tool can help us find other keywords that we may not have thought of. So the Keyword Planner tool is a very well-known free tool, but here's a list of other ones. So these are a lot of, like, people that do SEO, like they pay a lot of money for these RFs and SEMrush. So that's why you would go to someone, an SEO specialist, is because they pay for all the top software and they can do the searching for you. And it tells you the average number of times a keyword gets searched per month. And then with the competition, it relates to the number of Google ads being placed for that keyword. So obviously Keyword Planner is all about, how much it costs. Like if you tried to buy Google ads, you have to pay for that. But also with AI, I think that things are changing now as well. And that with AI, people are going straight to AI to search things and not to Google anymore. I mean, I certainly am. So in a way, we're sort of in a bit of a transition with all of this. But and there's also a lot of AI tools as well that do the keyword research also. So what we're really looking for is to find how competitive the keyword is. If it's low, medium, or high. It's determined by the number of advertisers bidding on each keyword relative to all the keywords across Google. If we don't have enough data, then you'll see a dash. So I suppose it would be good to, I think, speak to a keyword research specialist, someone that does the SEO, organic SEO and paid SEO, and then to, I guess, also find out more about the AI opportunities with the keyword research. So it can tell you how competitive it is, medium, high. So if it's very, very competitive, we might not have a chance. It's going to be too expensive. But if it's less competitive, then we might have a chance. We don't want it to be too low because that means no one's searching on that. So we're sort of looking for that midpoint. So I think hiring a professional is a good idea. If you find yourself getting stuck or find it too daunting, if you wanted to learn about it yourself, there's online courses. But in any case, whatever we think our keywords are, we have to do a SWOT analysis. We've got to take the findings and do a SWOT analysis. So we've got to do the competitor analysis, because what we have to find out at the end of the day is, can we differentiate ourselves against our competition? So this is when we're going for online and digital footprint. So, because when we're competing on our digital footprint, this becomes very relevant. If we're out at a networking event, or we do a lot of networking and we're building referral partners, then that's a completely different strategy. But I think, as Sharon said, we need to come at it from every angle. We need the referral partners. We need to know about the keywords and how our digital footprint positions us in relation to our competitors online if people are searching for our services online. But the personal brand is the thing that ultimately is going to differentiate us against our competition. So that's why building our personal brand in conjunction with all of this is really imperative. So personal branding to me trumps everything, and that's why I love it. I've specialized in it, and I really believe in it. So obviously the SWOT analysis is, what do you do well, your strengths? What could you improve, your weaknesses? What opportunities are open to us or to you, and what threats could harm you? And so once we've done this, it's all about closing the gap. So where am I now? Where do I want to go? How do I close this? And then there's a strategy to get you from A to B as seamlessly as possible, taking into consideration all your preferences and strengths. If you have any questions, just interrupt me. So unique value proposition is number 5. So really, why should someone choose me over my competitors? We've got to know the answer to that. Why should someone choose me? And so it's about the client's pain, so our audience, their pain, my solution versus my competitors. And it can be hard to find this out, because if you've never, used like I see a lot of people popping up on LinkedIn that do personal branding. I'd have to do a real deep dive into their LinkedIn profile, and then a deep dive into all of their testimonials, because the testimonials really inform a lot of the social proof around what makes you unique. So often our clients know more about what makes us unique than what we do. But in any case, our unique value, it's got to identify our target audience, so the individual or group that will benefit from what we offer, the problem we solve, so what specific problem or pain point do we help our target audience overcome, our unique offering, how my skills, how your skills, your experience, your product or service solves the problem in a way that's different from others. So this is really important. So if we're not clear about this, we've really got to keep working on it until the clarity emerges. And it is a process to get the clarity. So don't worry if you don't know straight away, but this is where you're going. So and then what are our benefits and results? So tangible results the audience will get from working with you could be financial gain, improved efficiency, business growth, mindset shift, or a combination. Why you're the best choice. What sets you apart from competitors, such as your unique experience. So that comes from your story, your lived experience. So no one can compete with you on that. Your specific approach. So our methodology. And if you don't have a methodology yet, well, you'll get one as you start to work with clients. Your methodology will evolve. And then as you actually work with client after client, you start to improve your methodology and you start to refine it, and then you can really market the methodology. But if you've got one already, like Sharon, for example, then you need to start marketing your methodology now. Like, I know that Begita's working on your methodology right now as we speak. So our specific approach, see, no one can compete with us on that either, you see, because we're not just cookie cutter. We're bespoke. And we've taken our lived experience, our professional experience, the evolution of the outcomes that we get when we work with our clients, and it becomes our specific approach. And then when you scale, so Sharon, when you get so busy that you'll be bringing on other consultants, because I know that's your goal, then that's what you'll be marketing. You'll be marketing your specific methodology. So then you become the thought leader in this, and that everyone under you is trained under this. And that's also how you'll get the people that come to work with you. And then the ability to deliver the specific results as well. So if you're new, then what you need to do is just start working with people quickly, as many as you can. And it doesn't matter if you don't know your niche initially, because you have to get some runs on the board. And it'll help you work it all out. So this is important because it clarifies your message, it differentiates you from competitors, and attracts the right clients. So it's sort of all linked. Now, this is my value proposition at the moment, so it will keep evolving, but Angela De Palma delivers personalized, outcomes-driven personal brand strategy and business coaching that goes beyond what competitors offer. She combines genuine joy in service, so one of my testimonials wrote that about me, and value with an extensive toolkit of resources. He wrote that as well, helping visionary entrepreneurs overcome both business challenges and mindset obstacles. Unlike others, Angela provides deep emotional support. See, this is true, I do. Creating a safe, empowering environment where clients feel unconditionally supported and safe. So my clients disclose a lot of stuff. I know a lot about my clients. I know pretty much everything. So it's all very confidential because of that safe space that I create. Even if it's not even related to what we're doing, they still share and disclose. So that's, I think, something that really sets me apart. And the other day I went to a networking event, and the guy that gave the presentation, he said, "I'm not your safe space guy." And that made me laugh because I thought, well, I am your safe space gal. I absolutely am. So, I mean, but is that differentiated enough? I'm not sure. It's a work in progress. So her unique ability to fast track opportunities through personal branding strategy and mindset shifts ensures clients achieve rapid, sustainable growth. Angela's coaching is not just strategic, it's a transformative experience that competitors often miss. So that's what I've come up with at the moment. It's a work in progress, but I'm still delving into this because obviously I want to get the most succinct value proposition that really nails it, and it's a work in progress. So we have to start somewhere, but a great place to start is your testimonials. Such a good place to start. Sharon, do you collect all your testimonials? Do they give you great testimonials? And
Yeah, I've got a couple, but I need to now go back and put them in market them in a way that
yeah,
looks good,
yeah,
with pictures and make
yeah,
it look professional. But I do have a couple of really good ones.
yeah,
So yeah, I need to now tidy
yeah.
all of that up.
And leverage those. I know. And so what I do is whenever someone says something great about me, I always copy and paste it if they say it online. Like my client Tamsin, she gave me an amazing Christmas card as well, but she had said this about me online. Thank you for your encouragement, roadmap, overall support in converting my sale, because she made a sale, and my goal for her was to get her return on investment for my services quickly, because I knew that she didn't have actually the money. She couldn't really afford me, but she knew that she needed me. And so she took the leap of faith. And then my goal for her was to get that return quickly. And she got it. She tripled it after 3 sessions. So that was something I was obviously extremely proud of. And she backed me up in this comment on LinkedIn. And so this comes back to our personal brand. It does not live in my head. It lives out there. It lives out there with the people I connect with. So Sammy Barnett wrote this about me. You know that feeling when you go to a networking event and you see that person that makes you feel safe inside, as they just get you and you can be yourself 100%. So I think that goes back to my value proposition. So if any great things are said about you, you copy and paste it and you put it into your documents, and this is our gold. This is the thing that's going to help us. Now, step number 6 is craft the messaging around your pain points and desires, align your offer with their needs. So messaging is definitely a work in progress. So our messaging has to include their pain, what they're telling themselves. This is really important, what they're telling themselves. Because if we can put that into our marketing, that really shows that, gosh, she's in my head. Your solution and their desired result, positive aspirational self-talk. And, ChatGPT, obviously, is everyone using ChatGPT for messaging? Yeah, it's so good. It's amazing. Like it's really catapulted what we can do with messaging now. And so it's just about becoming a great prompt engineer. And it can help us identify our niche, help us create the messaging, step-by-step action plans, can even put information into PowerPoint with the paid version. So obviously it's phenomenal and we're very lucky to have it because it's going to speed this all up. But then what it can't do, like I said before, is the test, message, and refine. It can't go out and talk to our clients, not yet anyway. So we need to tell the robot what type of message content we're creating, feed the robot the key questions about the target market and vertical, either feed in the pain, fears, desires, or ask what they are for a start, and then feed the robot our solution, our information about who we are. And so we're like training the robot, obviously, to once Begita encouraged me to ask ChatGPT, what is something about myself that I don't know? Or anyway, do you remember the question, Begita, that we asked it?
That's tell me something about myself that I do not know yet.
It was so interesting.
It's a very interesting question.
Yeah, it was. But it's especially interesting if you've already fed it information about yourself. Obviously, it's not going to know anything if we haven't fed anything. So now step number 7 is validate your ideas through test marketing. So test, measure, and refine. Test, measure, and refine. This is a work in progress. So what we have to do is get ourselves in front of our audience before spending big money on assets like especially paid advertising. That's the main asset, the name, the website, the graphics. How will we do this? It depends what we're solving for which market, depends on our strengths and preferences. There's the B2B, post in Facebook groups, Facebook ads, cold calling, LinkedIn prospecting, B2C, posts in Facebook groups, various social media, run Facebook ads. So it depends what we're selling, what strategies we're using, but mainly with consultants, especially us on the call, it's like this sort of thing, like the training, it's the advertising the market, the masterclasses, it's the referral partners, and then ultimately it's the content that we put out there, and and then obviously once we're sort of clear, running ads. So this is a case study from my coaching business. I created this program, a Momentum Habits Accountability Program. So I did it in 2019. My goal was to acquire coaching clients through opt-in paid advertising generation. So I created this program. It was a horizontal niche. Habits is a horizontal niche. And, it was an accountability program and it was all horizontal. So what I did was I put an ad up with text. So I recorded a video. Then I had a landing page. When they click on that, they went to a landing page. Then once they opted in, they got an automated email, which I'd set up. Then I called them straight away because I asked for their mobile number. And then I did a post-sales call once they had done the program. And then, so I automated the first email and called them straight away. And what I learned about that, so this is really interesting. I learned that the only people that opted in for this were men. And so I thought, okay, well, I'm going to redo the video on the text just for males and target males only in the ads. And then from that campaign, I spent $1,000 in total and I generated $3,000 from coaching. When I posted the same text in Facebook groups, and did marketing at networking, I did get women that joined, but on the online, it was only men. And so that was really, really interesting. And this is really interesting as well. My next door neighbor from when I was a kid, who I had lost, he found me on that Facebook ad and we reconnected. He used to rent my mum and dad's investment property and lived next door to us. And I used to play with him when I was a kid. And he said to me, "You always wanted to be a teacher. You told me when you were a kid that I used to play I can't remember any of this, but he's got all these memories. And so, yeah, so it was really meant to be. So the thing is that we've got to remain flexible, allow the market to guide you and not the other way around. So that's quite important. Refine your marketing to become more targeted based on what information you get back from your market research and through working with our clients. So we don't have to figure it all out straight away. Obviously, we want to make the first sale quickly. Gia, have you made a sale yet as a consultant?
Not in consulting.
No, that's okay. So this is
Yeah.
all ahead of you. It's very exciting.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So what we want to do is think progress over perfection. Make the first sale before we spend a lot of money building websites and other collateral. Starting out, most people avoid niching in order to get a feel and taste for which clients we work best with and which ones we can help the most, because those case studies are going to be the thing that creates the tipping point. Those case studies are what helps us get more clients in the end. So we've got to be documenting our case studies. And then it comes back to the strengths and preferences, which clients we enjoy working with. So it's better to scale once we're clear and we have a number of case studies because, like I said, success stories build our credibility. It also builds our confidence. No niche is set in stone and we can experiment and change at any time. And then the myths about niching. So you can't start unless you have your niche figured out and everything is perfect. So not at all. Please start regardless. Just because you're good at something doesn't mean you should do it. Just because it's a great business opportunity or career opportunity does not mean it's right for you. You always find your niche. Not true. Sometimes the niche finds you, and horizontal niches are also great options also. So they're the myths. That's it. So everyone on this call I know very well, and I'll be connecting with Gia tomorrow, which I'm really excited to face to face. So it has been an absolute honor to have you with me. I'm just so grateful for your, your company in this. It makes it so much more fun. And obviously, if you need any assistance, I'm always here. One phone call away, and I have this offer. So if you bump into people that may, need this or want to have a bit of a consult, then feel free to give them my details. So thank you so very much. If you want to share any key takeaways, feel free. That would be great. And then we can close off. Do you have any key takeaways, any questions? Gia?
Yeah, even though I had seen this, I'd forgotten about the way that you would niche down.
Yeah.
And I really like that approach. I think that might be a bit of missing link for me.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Excellent.
thanks.
Oh,
Thanks
my
for that.
pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Nusha?
The Google Keyword Planner, do you need to have a Google Ads account to be able to access it?
Not a Google Ads account. You just need a Gmail account. You just need to, you don't have to be paying for ads to use it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
I'd
Feedback.
just like to say, Angela, again, well done. You always have exceptional webinars with so much information in them. I've learned from past just to try and take one or two things and go and run with that. In the past, I'd be writing everything down, and now I'm like, no, I'm never going to process all that. But just a wealth of information. So thank you.
Oh, thanks, Sharon. And did you know what the one or two things are? Is there anything that stood out?
Look, I think niching for me is something that I really need to think about. I haven't, I've deliberately avoided it because it's scary to think that you might turn down business or turn
Yeah.
away business. But the more that I think about where I get my joy and purpose from, it is really not even in the not-for-profit space, because there are clients out there that aren't not-for-profits, but they do help other organizations and other people.
Yes.
I just could never really see myself working in like a big bank, just
Yeah.
help them make more money. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I'm
I
not going to
do.
walk out of that feeling like, yay, they're really going to put those fees up now. So it's more, mind you, if NAB contacted me tomorrow and said, we're going to give you all this money, will you come and work with us? I'd be like, yes.
I know. And the thing is, Sharon, that this is the thing. there's people in that organization that need you. There's
Yeah, I
people
know.
probably in there that are suffering
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well. So that's
Yeah.
just another way to sort of,
Oh, yeah.
you know, like,
But I just
Yeah.
know my heart is in
yeah,
when
yeah,
I see, like, even hearing the programs that these ladies are doing and supporting, and what they're actually doing in the community, it makes me go,
yeah,
wow, like, I've
yeah,
learned so much about what they do, and it just
yeah,
inspires me.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think go with that. And yeah, like create a lot of body of content for that niche.
Mm.
And then the rest, then a body of content for the people that aren't necessarily in that sector, but their impact, they're for positive impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Wonderful. Thank you,
Thank
Sharon.
you.
It's so wonderful to have you. Birgitta?
Yeah, and that as always, great. Loved it. And I love the fact that you were sharing a lot of your own case studies, because that gives so much insight in the things that you can think of and everything. So that was really great. It's interesting what Sharon is saying about like loving to work with certain organizations. I have a little bit of a different approach, because I'm always like, if I can influence the leaders, then the people that they work with will benefit from that. And so that's my ripple. So make a change in that way.
Definitely.
So it's
Absolutely.
different for
It is.
everybody.
That's right. It's totally personal. And
Yeah.
that's why it comes down to the preferences and the strengths and all those things. So there's no one size fits all. We just have to be true to ourselves. And that's what we're doing here
Yeah.
in this whole process, and why it's a bit more of a holistic approach to niching than just, like pick a vertical and run with it. And Nusha, what did you have any feedback or comments before we close off? Thanks for coming, love. It must be late.
Absolutely. I was gonna say with kind of big what Sharon said, yeah, always great information, always great reminders. And I agree with having a couple things and running with them. I'm excited to kind of add that to what I'm already doing. Thank you. Thank you,
Great.
Jangela.
My pleasure. Thank you so
So,
much, ladies. Oh, yes?
yeah. Now, where are you from, Nusha?
So I am based in San Francisco Bay Area in California.
Okay. Nice
Yes.
area to be based in.
Yes. And for some reason, all of my coaches, so a lot of my networks are all in Australia. I don't know if it's like, I think it's actually it's kind of like, I'm also a Chinese medicine practitioner, so there's a little bit of the yin and yang of like the two different hemispheres. Like I feel so complete. It's such an easy, I don't know, flow with that. But yes.
It's
Wonderful.
Nice to meet you all.
interesting
Yeah.
because I'm working with someone who's actually in Los Angeles, so I can see the connection.
Yes. Well, thank you so much,
The
ladies. I'll
time, the
close off
time
the
frame.
recording. And thanks for watching, and reach out and book in for the session, and take care, and bye for now.